There's been some big changes coming out of one of my favorite communities in all of Houston. We are in Katy, Texas today in the Elyson community in a brand new phase that has just broken ground. We have two beautiful builders to check out for you today. We have David Weekley, which is one of the most efficient and one of the favorites on this channel for you guys. And we have the developer builder of Brookfield Residential, which is kind of a newcomer to the channel, but they're trying to make a big play here in the Katy Elyson community. They have two series right now that we can debut. One is a little bit more traditional, one is like an alleyway series right now. But the biggest news about this section that is on the south side of 529 is the school district has changed. Now, is that going to be for the better? Is that going to be for the worse? We'll talk about all that in this video, but if that sounds good, stay tuned. And up first, we have David Weekley, like I said, which is one of you guys' man, it's a top 5 builder that you guys request and just generally love on this channel. They do a lot of things well, but I would say that their calling card in the Houston metro is that they are probably, if not the most energy efficient builder that you can build with in the metro based on a couple different factors. For those of y'all that are not new to the channel, bear with me while I share this with the newbies. The reason that they are so energy efficient is because they build with bigger 2x. So because that is that much thicker, they get to put so much more insulation in those walls. So your exterior walls are gonna always be more conditioned than the average builder. And then the second thing is in the attic, they often put, or not often, they will put a spray foam insulation in your attic. And so your attic is gonna feel a lot like the inside of your home because they usually also put a air duct up there as well, keeping things just more tempered to your liking of your home. So there's not this huge temperature difference between your 100-degree attic and your 70-degree house. Fights off some of the things like moisture and mold and some of the other things that kind of plague the Houston area when it comes to efficiency. But hold on, let me just take this all in. So this is a 40-foot wide home. And so one of the things that you often give up on a 40-foot wide home is you give up off on flex spaces. You give up on movie rooms, you give up on offices. So even though this isn't going to be the absolute biggest home that you've ever seen, another reason why a lot of my clients absolutely love David Weekley, and one of the reasons why they're one of my favorites is even though this is probably going to be a 3-bed with a flex, for people that are just starting out, and we'll talk a little bit about who I think this style of home is better for or perfect for. For people that are just starting out, this is their first home, you love a little flex space. This could be a perfect little playroom. This could be a perfect little movie room. This could be a perfect little office for a young family or a young professional just kind of starting out. And not everybody is going to give you that on a square footage that is this small and a width of a home that is this small. And David Weekley is just one of the best at just carving out these little thoughtful little niches of spaces for you in your home. So I'm already in love with what I'm seeing. You're already getting these taller ceilings in this square footage of a home that, again, is not a super huge home, but I'm seeing things that are 11, 12 feet tall, 14, 15 feet tall that just draw your eyes up. You're getting the elevated luxury of cabinets going all the way to the top. That's a luxury feature because, again, David Weekley is one of those builders that would be considered a luxury builder in the Houston metro. Now, there are definitely going to be some builders that are a little bit more high-end, for sure. However, if you going in and you slinging some money around and you're willing to give David Weekley that money, they can build you one of the prettiest houses that you'll ever see. Okay. And this is just showing you the type of flooring and stuff that you can get in here. I did confirm with the host that they are currently doing design center tours for homes over here, and that is to be expected because this is a luxury community. If you missed the intro, we are in Elyson. And so Elyson is one of the more premier communities in all of Houston, but specifically in the Katy area. Elyson is that go-to, giving you a variety of home, a variety of builder and style of home, all with about 3,000 plus acres with tons of amenities and the nearby. This is probably one of the first communities that me and my wife moved to, or me and my wife looked at, that had us considering moving out of the city of Houston. We still own property in the city of Houston, but this is one of those ones where we toured out, started getting content for you guys as basically a family channel, and we were like, hey, you ready to move out the city? And this is what started the wheels. Now, we ultimately found a home that was a little bit bigger and a little bit less expensive in Meridiana. Shout out to Meridiana. This is the comparison that I make for people kind of often, because they're around the same size, they have about the same amount of amenities, so on and so forth. And what ultimately kind of drives people to choose this one over Meridiana has been the historical data behind the schools. But now that that has changed, and I won't do too much clickbaiting and teasing you with that, the change is that now we're in Cy-Fair ISD. And so, like many of the communities along the 99 corridor, I'll sit down and yap to y'all for a little bit. Like many of the communities along the 99 corridor, they've been growing for a long enough time now to do some kind of a weird thing. You're gonna jump over some kind of main prime meridian, some major interstate, some major street that separates either counties or separates school districts, and that is what has occurred now that this neighborhood has jumped over. It's I think the delineation over here was like Peak Road and 529. Everything that was south of that was always Cy-Fair ISD. And now that this neighborhood has jumped onto this side, this section is kind of a little bit unique in that all the rest of it so far is Katy ISD. Most of them are tied to the Katy ISD schools within the neighborhood. But this one is a little bit special in that this one is just tucked off in that southeast corner of Elyson. And now we're gonna see what the ratings are and things are for the schools tied to Cy-Fair ISD for this section. And so I haven't had anyone move over here yet. Like I said, this one just broke ground. Hopefully I can get some of y'all to come over here and just let me know how you like it and how you love it after you've eventually moved in. But so far, from what I'm seeing from a build quality, from what I'm seeing from just the amenities, you're gonna have your own amenities and things over here in this section. So yes, you will have the ability to go to the main, what I would call the main campus of Elyson. You're gonna actually be closer to the outdoor shopping eatery section than the old sections are, just because there's a bridge like right behind us that takes you right to the Target. And again, I ain't in Target like that, but takes you to the Target. It's gonna take you to the eateries, the restaurants, all the stuff that's over there, the shopping. Everything is much closer to you in this section, so you actually have that benefit. But yeah, that's the biggest shakeup. Taxes are about the same. The amenity package is about the same. The HOA is still, I think, sub 1,500, so it's still pretty low. You got pretty much everything that you would want. It's just how will things be with Cy-Fair ISD versus Katy ISD. Another thing, you don't really see sliders on homes that are not over 60 foot, but David Weekley always showcases that it's something that can be done on their smaller homes, and I love them for that. Got some outdoor storage. This is a patio that is bigger than mine. So I'm jealous again in this smaller footprint home than my home, but no. In all seriousness, this is a beautiful home. And not too much yard. So, having said that, This particular layout, although it is a 2-story, I think that this style of home would fall in line with basically my client avatars for being a perfect home for so many of the people that hit me up on a day in, day out basis. I get hit up all the time by first-time buyers, young professionals. I get hit up by people that are downsizing and kind of getting to that phase of life where they just don't want the maintenance of a really big yard. They need a bedroom that's downstairs with a little flex space or an office so they don't feel like they have to go upstairs to do things. You got a little bit of a play space. So if you did have that one kid, or you did have that dog, or you did have the need to be outside, you have enough space, but it's not gonna be an energy, money, and time suck like this one. And this layout checks out all of those boxes. So I actually think that although a lot of my clients are what I would consider unks and OGs to me, above 45 on this channel, probably over 50% of those people that watch the channel. So shout out to y'all, unks and aunties, OGs that watch the channel are over 45. And we have a 2-story home out in the burbs, tied to great amenities, tied to great schools, so your values should hold long-term, with a primary bed on the first floor. A lot of these builders are gonna have all the bedrooms up in that entry-level price point because they're kind of going towards a younger crowd, so on and so forth, right? But this one has a more traditional setup with a primary bed on the bottom floor, okay? But yeah, back to this. Great king size bed, full size furniture throughout. They gave you this big pretty window right here, so that kind of takes away from your TV wall. So if you wanted a TV here, it would probably need to be where this mirror is, so you're looking out the side of your neck. But yeah, again, 8-foot doors, tall ceilings, looking at probably 11, 12-foot ceilings in here. Got the dual vanities. We got that storage, separate toilet, because that's pretty much a Texas standard after 2015. Yeah, good width, good size. It's a little bit more galley style, but that's to be expected just because, again, this is a 40-foot wide lot, meaning the house is gonna be somewhere between 28 and 30-ish feet wide. And so it's not the widest, but you can get elegant touches in here. And if you didn't want this as a super shower, which is gonna be the most expensive option, you could have an option with a tub and a shower separate. You'll definitely have some options for sure. All right, so that's the first floor. A lot of me yapping just because, again, the biggest, most important thing here is that we got office space down, we have laundry down, we have a primary down, nice covered patio, and a decent sized backyard for little stuff. Oh, I missed the Harry Potter closet, y'all. Got me slacking. Nice little storage. But yeah, it has pretty much everything you need down. So even if you were older and were in that phase of life where you're not really trying to be up and down stairs unless you got company, we got a little bitty peekaboo. Hold on, a little peekaboo for the peekaboos. If you weren't necessarily trying to be up and down these stairs, you don't have to. You could live your day-to-day life downstairs. You have a beautiful flex space. Really good size. Try to give you the angle so you can see the different sizing. One full bath, it looks like, for upstairs. 2 vanities, so you don't have the width to really jack and jill it. It looks. They have this bedroom set up as a little gym. Again, just trying to show The versatility of what you could do with this space is a really nice size room. But if you didn't have kids and you were a young professional and you don't need a bedroom for a kid, turn that thing into a gym. If you had a kid, make that thing into a bedroom. Still got the flex down, still got everything you need, still have your office down. It's beautiful. Great size. Yeah, per usual, I think you could get king size bed in all of these. I think that would work perfectly fine. I think that the overall thought process is, you know, to make it look a little bit bigger, a little bit more spacious in here. But if you needed a bigger bedroom or a bigger bed, you could fit that in this space. But yeah, to recap, I think this is the Melrose plan, 3-bed, what's that, 2.5 bath and a flex. And I think this one's like 2,100 square feet. Let me pull out the notes. And this salesperson is Ty. And I think Ty at one point in time was actually in my neck of the woods in Meridiana. So again, as we travel around this Melford plan is the plan, around 2,200 square feet. These go up to, the highest one is 430 for reference. They have another one that they have shown as a 4-bedroom. So I'm assuming that they maybe converted either this space behind me, or maybe they converted another space upstairs, attic space that we didn't look in, to make it a 4-bedroom. They have that one at 420, so slightly cheaper. So maybe it's on a cheaper lot or a skinnier lot, something along those lines. But yeah, Ty was out there in Meridiana for a little bit. We never did a deal together, but again, that's just a person that I've recognized, that I see. That if the chips are down, we need that extra 5K, we need that extra 10K, we need that extra little money towards closing costs of design center. That's just one more person that we got around the metro to be able to help you out. But we got more to see. Up next, we got Brookfield Residential. They're gonna be starting in the mid-3s for this alleyway series. Up front, they have the beautiful front porch, just like David Weekley does. So let's see how the layout changes just how things feel. Let's see. Nice, so we got a nice little open concept. Looks like we have a little pocket area for a little pocket office over here. It's cool. Got some little storage. Got the open concept living, which I think also looks really nice. Definitely a good size. You got really big furniture in here and everything is super nice. Slide through the kitchen. Got some nice stuff, man. Nice, nice, nice. Feels a little bit wider than where we just were with the David Weekley. So that's definitely a little bit of a change up. Nice cabinet space, nice storage. Turn that down so I don't get copyrighted. Look at this little tucked off little office. Not tucked off little area. More storage. I'm always a fan of more storage and more cabinets. Got a little baby butler's pantry back here. Still have a covered patio. They're showing you that you can fit a full-size table back here for that indoor-outdoor vibe. A little bit more use of space, and we're just next door to where we were. cool little side yard. But yeah, I think this was good to see with actual furniture on it, so you can see how you can actually use it. And again, not a ton of maintenance. You can get out there with your little electric weed eater and take care of that in a couple minutes, man, or your little electric motor, and you can take care of that in a couple minutes. But for how this space is kind of jumbled together, I like how they have this table off to this side of the home, so you can definitely see kind of more defined spaces, even though it is truly open concept. And some people love that, some people don't. I know some of my OGs and uncles and aunties kind of like it a little bit more separated, because that's just what they're used to in their era. Things just having a direct location in space. Let's see. That's the garage. What else we got back here? Okay, so we gotta have baths so people don't have to go through your stuff. But the one difference that I'm seeing so far, what is this, pantry? Yeah, oh, that's a great size pantry. Great size pantry. The one issue that I am seeing so far on this one, family, is that, am I missing a bedroom, or is there's no bedroom down here? Okay, so the usability and the versatility on this one is a little lacking, because this is what in the city you would what would you consider this, like second floor living? So it's like the only thing that's down here is garage and kitchen, basically living space, but all the actual like sleep areas are up. So like, who is this better for? When we were pregnant with Chandler, we were looking for spaces where the bedroom wouldn't be on another floor from us, because we figured we would have to go like change diapers and things, all of that stuff. So this might actually be better for families that are expecting or in that early toddler age where all the bedrooms and things are in one spot. It would probably make more sense. If you're a young professional, to just have all the stuff down here and not necessarily have the extra spaces and the zhuzh that the other one has, it might be worth to spend a little bit more to get that. But as a start out home for a young family or a young professional, just to get something to get the feel for this, you would still have that versatility, but not as well designed as that one. But you're probably gonna spend $50,000 to $70,000 less for this. Okay, so let's finish out the home and see if it makes sense by the time we get upstairs. But for right now, at this age of my knees, at this age of my development where I am as an almost 40-year-old, I need a bed down. I'm not trying to go up and down the stairs for bed. I'm not trying to do it. I'm not trying to do it. All right. I do like that they have found some ways to give you some, how would you say, some zhuzh, to make this feel a little bit more grand, a little bit more elegant. I know that this is aimed more so at the more entry level buyer, with this one being in like the mid threes as a start, versus David Weekley's that's going for a little bit more higher end, being the more well-known builder. But this is super nice though. Okay. Yeah, this is, if this has 4 beds upstairs, which it looked like it did, this would actually be, oh, they got the little dog like my baby. This would actually be exactly who this is for. That young family that wants more spaces. You can convert one of these bedrooms into that office or that thing that you want, but you could have your kid, or in this case, since you got 4 bedrooms, you have 2 kids up here and kind of dealing with playing hodgepodge around that extra room and the extra spaces that you don't necessarily have down. You could have them up. And so I think that this one, had we seen something like this coming out of where we were in the city, we'd have been like, oh yeah, that's an upgrade. We got an extra bedroom, we got a little bit more space, a little bit open concept downstairs. I think this would have been a little bit of an upgrade considering the neighborhood, location, everything that we love about this part of Houston. But comparing it immediately to that one that we just left, even though they are down a bedroom, some of the other spaces feel more usable, okay? But I like this a lot. I really, really like this. The bedroom sizes are really good. Closets are a little bit more galley, but that's to be expected on a house that is this wide. That's what we have even in our 50-foot product. That's very common when you're pretty much under that, like 60-foot wide. We have a full bath for, looks like everybody up here outside of the primary. We got great finishes. Pretty nice. Now, another one. We are 2 for 2 today. So Marty is the sales representative for Brookfield over here, as well as Charles. Charles used to be a sales professional for Weston, and me and Charles have worked together before. Marty used to be a sales professional for D.R. Horton, and I sold a lot. He used to actually be out in my neck of the woods in that like Caldwell Ranch, Rosenberg, not Rosenberg, we're Sharon kind of area, Arcola kind of area. So I've worked with actually 3 for 3. I didn't count Charles in the first count. I've worked with all 3 of the sales professionals that are currently in this new section. So again, I hate to keep saying it, but like every time you go somewhere and you don't hit me up, there's a high likelihood that you might just be leaving something on the table. Maybe it's blinds, maybe it's appliances, maybe it's extra closing costs, maybe it's money off the price, maybe it's money towards design center, because I've done a damn good job, in my opinion, of trying to be nice to these people and make the transaction as smooth for everybody involved. So when I need to come back for somebody like you, we can help you out, okay? We have a great size laundry room. Hold on, this house might be 23-ish hundred. This gotta be 2,400 square feet. Gotta be. Because this is not feeling that much smaller. Dinosaurs. All right, we got another cool little nice sized bedroom. Great size, man. I'm really impressed with what I'm seeing. Now, there are some touches that we lose in here from what I'm seeing. Okay, so another galley closet. And it's just stuff to notice. And this is kind of what you notice when you're saying what's a luxury builder, what's not a luxury builder. You're noticing as we walk through here that all the doors are a little bit shorter, right? As we look at the baseboards are a little bit smaller compared to what we were just leaving. And it's no shade, it's just that they're kind of playing at different weight classes a little bit with who they're trying to go after. This is trying to satisfy the same people that we talked about in the first segment, but at a cheaper price point to get more people in. But with them being kind of the developer builder, they actually bought the developer out. Brookfield bought the developer of Elyson, Newland. And so they bought them, and now they're trying to get as many of these kind of properties out there and just get them basically on the ground finished to have a huge stake of homes in this community now that they've basically taken over that company, okay? So that's what we got. Last but not least, we're heading into the primary. Let me know what you think. We'll come back to that primary bath. And this is a really great size. Yeah, I would not feel played or slighted or feel like I have underachieved at all. This is a beautiful home for what it is, right? The only thing that would be different for me is that with this being an alleyway, my driveway would be in the back. And that means that every time the garage door open, my little booty would be shaking in our bedroom, which would be different. Usually on the houses, they'll kind of configure it to where the primary is the furthest away from that noise. But in this instance, you'll be over here shaking it out, right? Now, that could be a benefit in that if you had a kid, that means that they are further away from the garage, which was an issue that we had with baby Chandler, is if it's nap time and then I gotta leave the house, that means she's about to hear every piece of that garage door opening and closing. And so I'm not actually mad about that, because if we're both home, who's gonna be opening the garage door, right? We should almost never feel or deal with that. But just an observation. Looks like the primary security data box is in your closet. That's also more of a city thing. Usually in the burbs, that'll be in a closet that's not yours. So you are, as the payer of the bills, you are not inconvenienced by that. But yeah, man, I like what I saw in here. Let's go back down now and look at pricing of this series and just kind of give you an idea of what we are looking at here. In terms of size of home, this is the Verbena plan. This feels way bigger than so they've got this laid out beautifully, because this feels way bigger than 2,000 square feet. This is like 2,080 square feet. And currently it's 4 bed, 2.5 bath. You can get something like this in this neighborhood ready to go by November, which is basically for the time of this shooting within a couple weeks. You can get this for $370. Nuts. In a neighborhood like Elyson, with the amenity centers that you have, with the access to 99 that you have, with the access to 529, all the infrastructure, with the access to 290, to the premium outlet mall, to all the stuff that you want, you can get 2,000 square feet, 4 bed, 2.5 bath, open concept, nice size, nice finishes for $370. That's hard to beat. I'm not gonna lie, that's hard to beat. This was originally listed at $402. I think, like many places in the Houston Metro, we've had like a price adjustment and a reckoning with what people are willing to pay for and buy. And that's why I always say inventory is the way to go. Because if you would have built this originally, as soon as they, recognized that they were gonna do this section, you would have paid $40,000 more than what you could pay now for this same exact house, okay? So I think that inventory is the way to go. I often tell my client family that if this ain't the dream home, it needs to be inventory, because you're just gonna pay a premium, man. Like if you're at a price point, and this is no shade, no tea, because not everybody's at that point where they're at dream home territory. But if you're looking at this and you're like, man, I'll be in here 5 to 7. If you're gonna be in here 7, if we're gonna be in here 7 to 10, then let's build it. Because now in that 10-year span, that's a lot that can change for you, your needs. Let's actually spring forward to get the stuff that you actually want, because you're gonna be in here a while. If you're looking at this like 3 to 5, almost never build a house from the ground up, because you're gonna overpay for a bunch of middlemen, all the vendors, all the materials, all the trades, everything, all the specialized things that you're gonna pay for, cabinets, flooring, doors, all the things are gonna be so extremely marked up just because you're building it. Whereas you can come in here and get this for a $40,000 discount like nothing. Throw on top of that your boy knows the salespeople, we probably at a $50,000, $55,000, $60,000, okay? So yeah, it's definitely some possibilities right now. The biggest setback for them as a neighborhood currently in this section is that center point. Like many places in the Houston Metro, is pump faking them on when they're gonna be ready for power. They don't quite know that yet, but they have 15 that they are currently eyeing to be done by the end of this year. So if you're looking for something like this, something a little smaller, something a little bigger. They have a couple that are a little bit bigger than this, and they have a couple that are a little bit smaller than this. If you're looking for something that's going to be in that mid 350s, having great amenities, having a great location, this is really going to be hard to beat. But now we're going to step it on up to what y'all are a little bit more used to on the channel, which is a little bit more traditional style home. We have one more from Brookfield Residential, as well as one from David Weekley. Let me know what you think. All right, and before we get too into it, before we head and check out those last couple houses, this is actually going to be, we're standing on the grounds of where your amenity center should go right now. So it's going to basically be an event lawn, right? So you're going to have your little covered eating area, you're going to have little gaming areas, you're going to have a little fire pit, nothing too crazy. On the back side of this is actually a beautiful section of lake that they've done. So you have a little lake and walking trail just like right outside of your gate here. And by gate, I mean just like right outside of your little fenced area. This isn't a gated section. I don't want to sell you that dream. But as soon as you peekaboo through this little alley right here, boom, lake is right there. And then that lake kind of wraps a little bit this way, and it definitely goes more so that way around the sections. Right behind us, you also, if you're not filling the schools that are tied to you, you have the Harmony School right there. And then just to give you an idea of direction, normal Elyson is on that side. And just over this little hill is where your commercial is. So where the Target, where the Burlington, where the eateries and all the food and stuff and the future shopping is just behind this section of houses. So it is super close to everything that you are going to be needing in this neighborhood. All right, up next, we have the Lantana plan from Brookfield. Stepping on up to the 45.
Front door open.
It's me again, Marty. Stepping on up, this would be your garage. Really nice. So again, gonna have a little bit more of a packaged feel in the alleyway. That's gonna be all the one we just left. That's gonna be all inventory. This one you'd have the ability to kind of build and pick the things that you want, but it's gonna be more of a package base. So once we get in the kitchen, you'll see, you know, if you want package, for example, 10, that might be this flooring, that countertop, those cabinets, that might all be package 10, right? And so right now they're trying to still define what all those packages are, but that's how they would go currently. But they need to sell some of these inventory homes that they got coming up right now to open it up for those kind of opportunities. Full bath. Good size. Come into the kitchen area, which is beautiful. Love the color of the cabinets. Got some hardware on you. Now, slide-in range, I know some of y'all don't necessarily love that, but again, for the price point to get, you know, full hardware, cabinetry, nice cabinetry. I was trying to see if they're soft close. They're not soft close. I do like how they have this tucked off over here again. So even though it is open concept, you're still getting separate spaces, which I love. I also love how this opens up into a higher area to just make this feel that much nicer. beams are unpaid actors. Don't fall for the beams. But this is a beautiful look, and this looks wide. That feels like a wider corridor. You can tell the width that you get just by coming into a slightly wider home. Behind your kitchen, looks like we got the laundry room, and this is a really good sized laundry room. With cabinets in, what? Connected on a 45, connected to your closet? All right, hold on. Wait a minute. I'll skip anything in here. Just more storage. I'm 0 for 2 on the Harry Potter storage so far. I've been missing them all day today. Yeah, this is beautiful. Really pretty. All right. Before we go on to the really nice size, man, it's really good size. Look what I'm seeing. Hold on. All right, excuse the generator if you hear that hum over there. Really good size, man. It's a really good size. Tons of room for a little barbecue pit. Good size patio. Tons of room for a little wet bar. Now what I don't know, and I'll ask Marty, is if they can build it with gas on the back. Usually kind of a general rule of thumb is if they can do it easily, they'll show it to you in the model because they want you to pay for it and do it also. And so because it's not back here, that's kind of leading me to believe that they maybe in this price point, it's not something that they focus on doing. But I'll ask the question so y'all can know. You're gonna get a slightly bigger yard, probably about double of what you had in the other section, because this is a little bit more traditional, not necessarily as skinny coming out the back, because on the alleyway series, half of this would have been your driveway, right? So you're gonna lose half of this. On a more traditional sense, you get that back. Nice. Got more storage, because in Texas, you need that storage, and I like how this vaults up. Now the beams are unpaid actors. Don't be catfished by them. But the shape of the roof line gives you an idea of what you can do with this space, and I think that is beautiful. This is a really nice sized room. You'd have enough room for a little couch right here, full-size furniture on all sides of this bed. Beautiful. Okay, Brookfield, come on with it. Split vanities, I like those. Again, with the hardware packages and the countertop packages, you're seeing some of this upgraded quartz kind of throughout the house based on the package that they have in this home. Separate toilet because it's a Texas standard. And a really good sized closet. I'm impressed. And then this walks on over to the laundry. That would be clutch for us. For as much laundry as we doing in our house, in the Lathan residence, man, that would be clutch. Sorry about the flickers. Again, they don't have permanent power from CenterPoint, so we dealing with what we got. All right, let's head on up. See if you're feeling upstairs. If I do, I can say that I was feeling downstairs. Got a great size game room up here. This would be great for homeschooling if you did a setup like this where we got a little desk. Back on up, we got free time. Put your TV right there, just like that. Man, I'm not mad at this. I'm not gonna lie to you. Good size room as well. Looks like we got that Jack and Jill in the middle, more traditional. Closet with a window always feels classy to me. I'm a fan. Yeah, this is a good size, man. Got a little couch in here. Full size on that. Furniture on that side. This is a great size. Got the dual sink set up. Tub shower combo. What I would expect, y'all, for those of y'all that ain't new, y'all know I ain't walking through there because we need the minutes. Linen closet storage, because that's a must in Texas because we got a lot of stuff. Yeah, this is beautiful, man. I am impressed. This is the other side. I am impressed with this house, man. I really truly am. Good size. So this one has the bigger closet. Not quite as deep of a room, so you could get a little couch or something here, but you wouldn't be able to have a real dresser right there like this one does. But they're about the same size room, if I had to say. Man, let's go down. Okay, Brookfield, shit, okay. Let's go down, talk about pricing. Let's see what y'all think. So we come over here to the kitchen. Let's see what we pull out. Is that my right pack? Wrong pack. So on this side, we're a little bit more traditional. Again, thanks to my guy Marty for giving me a heads up on what we got over in this area. So something like this is around 2,400 square feet, 2,350-ish. This is the Lantana plan. They do have one that's a little bit bigger. That's 2,500 square feet. This one is a 4-bed, 3-bath. And the current pricing for something like this is just under $450. So again, I do think that to be in a neighborhood like this, to be having amenities like this, to have a layout that looks like this, that is this good, and to be under $450, knowing what I know about pricing of Elyson, I think that's a solid deal. The most expensive thing they have over here right now is actually, I ain't tell you what I think that's the Xenia plan. The most expensive thing they have over here right now is going to be the Xenia plan, and that's like $460. And that's for 2,500 square feet. So again, not that much more expensive, right? If you were to compare that to the other series, the alleyway series that we just left, cheapest thing over there is what we were just in, $360, and they go up to a little bit higher than that. They'll tap out around 2,300 square feet, and they'll be just shy of $400,000. Okay, so I think that they have a little bit of a pricing advantage with them being basically the builder developer out here now that they have taken over Newland, so they're probably not charging themselves that same little premium for the land. Just in case y'all didn't know that, that's how that works, right? So when you go to these one-off communities, for example, from like a Pulte Homes or a DR Horton, and they have another builder there, that other builder usually pays them for land, so their prices are higher. And so because of that, I would imagine that David Weekley for a same size house would be about 40 to 50. And that's what we saw the price jump between the two for a similar size home, okay? But this is beautiful, great size patio, primary, and a guest room down. Guest has his own ensuite bath. The only thing that you're missing in this house is you don't have a flex space that allows you to put like an office or a media room or something like that. But maybe that 2,500, I have to look at that with Marty. In terms of availability, all of the homes on the alleyway series are going to be inventory. All of those are going to come pre-planned and pre-picked with everything. On this side and the more traditional side, you're going to have a little bit more leeway to kind of do what you want to do. But right now, they're going to definitely try to do everything they can to move the current houses that they have to get these off the books. So you can go ahead and then they'll say, okay, these lots are available. Like I said before, but a combination between these and the alleyway, they're going to have somewhere between 15 and 20 homes that they have ready to go by the end of the year that they're hoping that you can come get and take off their hands. And I'm trying to come get you with a big deal. Come on, let's come talk to them. Let's talk them down 30 extra thousand. Let's see what we can do. But yeah, Marty is here, worked with him before. Charles is also here, worked with him before. Yeah, man, I am shocked in a good way, in that I didn't think that this would open up how it does and look how it does. I've never seen this model before, and this one is beautiful and has some super high-end luxury touches, man, that you don't typically get from an entry-level kind of builder. But we got one more to see. Last but not least, family, it's been a beautiful day. The sun ain't been too bad on me. I'm a sweaty guy, so sweat is unpaid actor. Don't judge me. But it's been a beautiful day, and we've seen some beautiful homes, and I think this one is gonna be the best one of the day. Gorgeous. Okay, so if you're not familiar, this would normally be your garage. They have that set up as offices. Coming to the first bedroom. Again, notice the elevation of touches. 8-foot doors, 8-foot doors, just things that feel taller, more elegant. Baseboards, 3 or 4 times the size of where we just left, so there's just touches in here. That farmhouse chic that David Weekley just kind of corners the market on. Still a galley on this, but it is a little bit taller, so if you wanted to put a closet system in there, you could. Looks like this is a full bath that everybody would share off of this wing, which again is not unheard of at this size of home. And yeah, they had an example room here. So what we were talking about in the very first segment, thickness of walls, where you get more insulation compared to your standard builder. And then you look up in there, that is to the open attic, and this room feels as cool as the other room I just walked out of, okay? Yeah, another good little size room. Nice. Nice little mud area. So because this would be off of your garage, normally you would come straight into your mud area. You'd have a little closet for your things. And you have a great laundry room with a little folding station. That's another thing that they often do in their homes. Either give you good cabinet space or they'll give you a nice little folding section. Beautiful. Pretty. And here we go again. We got another flex space, sunroom, office, media space, dining area, whatever you want to use it for. David Weekley is definitely a top contender when it comes to flex spaces, no matter the size of the home. It's thoughtfully designed, very thoughtfully designed. Beautiful. Again, 8-foot doors throughout. We have cabinets going to the top. We have puck lighting. We have see-through cabinets, all upgrades, all things that you can do if you're building it. We have functional over here. Okay, so now functional. I thought they had hit the whole thing. Not functional, but decorative paneling, so it's not just drywall. Is the front functional? No, they didn't pay for the functional on that one, but you could. I've had clients that did that on their builds where they had cabinets that wrapped all the way around that were operable, so I know it can be done. Good size pantry. But yeah, just beautiful, open concept vibe. Opens up into the taller ceiling in here, so it feels even more grand. You got the transient lighting from up top. It's just really, really well done. It's probably my favorite little view of your house. Got a little peekaboo at hallway. Got your little bonus area there. Beautiful. All right, sorry again for this generator. Another great patio. Not much yard on this one, with this being about the same size lot as where we just were. With this extended patio and this being a big one-story, this pretty much eats up all of the yard on this one. So again, if you wanted a nice big one-story kind of vibe and you didn't want all the yard upkeep and all the things that comes with having a house that might be a little bit bigger, you could definitely get that on this one. You get all the luxury high-end upgraded finishes and features. You got the cooktop. Just show you the difference from where we just were, where we had the slide-in range. I didn't really point this out while we were in the kitchen, but this is upgraded in the Houston Metro. This is upgraded in the Houston Metro as opposed to having a slide-in oven and range, right? So this is one of those things that you could do. So that when I was saying earlier that this could be perfect for a young professional, this could be perfect for people young parents that are going into their first home that don't want a ton of maintenance but want to come out and get a feel of the suburbs. Or if you're in that downsized point of life where you're just like, hey, I want no stairs, don't want that much yard maintenance, I'll take care of what I gotta take care of, have my little yard guy that I pay $30 to come and cut my grass because it ain't that much. You can do that here with this kind of a layout, okay? 8-foot doors again, going throughout. My wife hates those type of showers that are sunken in because she says all the cleaning that comes with that. Look, woman, you gotta be a little classy with it, right? Put a little bleach down and leave it, okay? And the crazy thing is I don't think the air is on anything cooler than 75 in here, and it feels so great in this house. It feels so cool, no fans on. And that's a testament to, again, the energy efficiency that I talked about earlier. And then David Weekley loves to do a little vaulted bedroom. The size on this, full couch, full furniture, good design. Your TV should go right there perfectly. Little peekaboo lights on either side of the bed. Huge bed. Huge bedroom. So even though this isn't, again, the biggest house that we'll see on this channel, I thought it was important to come and show those people that there's another phase in Elyson, man, where you can get something super nice and you don't have to pay an arm and a leg. It's, again, another one of their super shower options. You can get a tub and a shower separate combo over there. Dual vanities, separate toilet. And here's your closet, pretty good size. Got the linen. So yeah, man, I'm a super fan of David Weekley. I sell a lot of them. If I had to do the numbers in terms of just kind of ranking, I would say I sell the most of Highland. I would sell the second most of Perry. It would probably be a toss-up between my third, between Weston and David Weekley, because I have people that just love certain characteristics of their house for either one of them. Those are gonna be like the top 4 that I sell the most of, that are most readily available in most communities that I go in. They developers love them. They sell well. They appreciate in value over time well, and they're usually a good value for the buck for the same square footage compared to other builders of a similar size in the neighborhood. Okay. So having said all of that, this one's around 2,300 square feet. It's a 1-story, 4-bed, 3-bath. You can do a super shower. You could do a fireplace in here. They didn't do that. And you could do an extended covered patio. And this, as a base price right now, is like $440. So again, remember, we were talking about them being bigger and at a smaller price, and that's because they got that developer love, right? So yeah, in terms of inventory, let me see if he got some inventory sheets out there right now. I don't know if he has. Let me actually go to the room. My guy Ty's not in today, so let me go peek over here and see if we got an inventory sheet for the 45-foot section. No, I'm good. I'm wrapping up now. All right, so we do have, and this is a great deal, and this is why I love when I tell y'all that the deals be in inventory. This is what I mean. So this, I just told you that this base price for this plan is $440. I just told you that, right? They have one of these in inventory right now at $455. That's including lots, that's including upgrades made, that's including all the things very similar to what you're gonna see in here. Maybe not some of the upgraded tiles and things that you might see, but the actual functionality of this floor plan with the extended patio, $455, okay? We talking $15K for your lot, extended patio, any upgrades that they've done to the home where the structure is gonna basically be the exact same. You're paying $15,000 more over base. If you were to try to build this house on your own lot that you pick and put all the things in it, you're gonna be well into the fives, okay? That's what I mean. Inventory, if this ain't the last house, or you're not gonna be here 7 to 10 years, building from the ground up is not the best financial decision. In addition to that, they are also doing some incentives for financing. So like the other builder, Brookfield, we're offering like 2.99, and they have some that will qualify for a temporary 1.99 interest rate. David Weekley is doing that pretty much year round in every community, is bringing down your interest rate to make the home buying process just that much more affordable. But that's the video for today. So we had two beautiful builders. Brookfield, doing a beautiful job, targeting that more entry level. David Weekley, stepping it up in elegance a little bit, but targeting that same professional family, young family starting out, to get a beautiful home in an affordable price point in a community that is so beloved by me and so many others that are looking out in the area. And I think they're doing a great job. And I think that once this video goes live, I want you to call, text, hit me with a carrier pigeon, hit me in the comment section. I'm gonna put a QR code on the screen right now so you can book that call. I want you to hit me up so I can be that go-to for you. Like I said, I've worked with Ty before, and I want to bring you on back. Let's sit down with Ty and say, hey, Ty, this is what I need to make this a win for me and my family. We want to get a deal done. This is what we need to make it happen, and let's go and make it happen for you. If you don't want to do that, no shade, no tea. Let's see if we got an example in the kitchen right now where they have a guest card that you can fill out. Put my name down, say Aaron Lathan sent me, give them my info. They'll be able to look me up in the system, tie me to you, and then that way when the time comes and we have sat down and put our strategy together, we can say, hey, this is what we think is going to be a great offer to get you exactly what you want and accomplish the goals and the financial payment that you want. Let's present this, and then let me do my job to go and get that thing for you. If you don't want to do that, that's fine. Just hit me up later, go tour, hit me up. But the best way, I'm telling you the best way every time, because as I walk in and I see names that I look at that are familiar to me, of people that I've worked with or that I've closed a deal with or that I've had multiple leads that I brought to them, that just gives me leverage to work harder for you. But which one are you picking? You got a great neighborhood right off the 99, right off 529, shopping, eating, entertainment, everything that you could possibly need, all under 500K in a top selling master plan community in all of Houston, of Elyson. That's really hard to beat, but is it enough for you?